Welcome, you're watching Kaleidoscope Ceylinco Live News Capsule. Welcome to Ceylinco Live News Capsule. Budget 2024 presented by the Minister of Finance, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, has been called a fairy tale by Executive Director of Verite Research Dr. Nishan Dimel in the context of revenue and not being grounded in reality. Going through some of the salient points in Budget 2024 is equity analyst of Cal Research, Sajani Dewapura. Welcome, Sajani. What are the salient points that you observe in Budget 2024?
The overall budget for 2024 aims to improve tax collections rather than increasing tax rates. The total tax revenue for 2024 comprises 28% from income tax, 59% from taxes on goods and services, and 13% from taxes on external trade. Government aims to increase tax collection mainly from taxes on goods and services, which is expected to increase by 859 billion rupees out of a total tax increase of 1.2 trillion rupees. Then on the expenditure front, 38% of the total expenditure is allocated to interest payments, indicating a substantial debt servicing burden on the government's finances. This expenditure increase is mainly driven by rising interest costs and capex. Three main highlights on the expenditure front. Firstly, interest spending is expected to grow by 458 billion. Secondly, salaries and wages for government employees and pension holders has been increased by 141 billion, mainly because of the increase in allowances on living cost by 10,000 rupees for public servants. And thirdly, capex. Capex has increased by 469 billion. This amount is excluding the bank recapitalization. Overall, fiscal balance for 2024 is estimated at 2.4 trillion rupees, excluding bank recapitalization of 450 billion rupees.
And do you see any surprises?
Firstly, incremental tax revenue for 2024 is 1.2 trillion, which is mainly driven by tax collections on goods and services. When it comes to taxes on goods and services, this is mainly comprising of VAT on domestic products, VAT on imports, and excise duties such as taxes on alcohol, tobacco, vehicles, and petroleum. And this increment as a percentage of GDP is 2.7%. Secondly, exemption on VAT has been taken out on goods such as fuel. However, exemptions on healthcare, education, and some basic essentials still prevail.
So most budgets look fine on paper but are challenged in implementation. What are the challenges that you would see in this budget's implementation?
In 2023, from the initial budget, the target was to collect 6.25% of GDP from taxes on goods and services. However, looking at the revised estimates published by the government yesterday, they have only been able to collect 5% of GDP, which is a shortfall of 1.4% of GDP. So anyway, collecting 7.6% of GDP will be challenging to the government because the heavy dependency on consumer-based taxes. A drop in consumption due to inflationary pressure or other inflationary shocks could lead to decrease in tax collections from goods and services. For example, in 2023, the highest shortfall in tax collection was from goods and services, which was 387 billion rupees out of 534 billion rupees total shortfall. The second challenge I see is the expenditure on capex. From the 2023 initial budget, government estimated to achieve 1.2 trillion on capex, but from the revised estimates, they have only been able to achieve 782 billion rupees, which is a 64% of the initial estimates. 2024 budget has a target of 1.2 trillion on capex. This amount is excluding the bank recapitalization of 450 billion. If they fail to achieve the estimated revenue targets in 2024, the only option for them to achieve the IMF targets is cutting down capex. However, without spending on capex, it will be difficult for the government to achieve growth in economy.
Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you like our show, subscribe and follow us for updates.
අප ගැන සිතා හසරැලි මවා යා යුතුව ඇත අවදානම් මාවත් සැන නොනවතිනු මැන දිවි ඇති තුරා අප රැක දෙනා සබැඳුමක් ඇත
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Ceylinco Life.